We are trying to let our researchers at the beginning designing or thinking about solving a problem to have visits and see what's actually going in the industry. You know, because the industry actually will not come to us and invest in our research unless it has to solve their own problems. If there is a separation between what we are doing at CAS and what the industry needs, the investors will not come to us. I think I will start like this and we can continue in the second round.
So thank you. So Christian, I don't think he explained that the inventor should know what is the need for the innovation. However, as people, they don't think, they want to solve the problem, the issue that face people. So in US or any other part of the world, when they want to have this patent, do we usually go and move to the business department to help you to assess your ideas? This is what we need to know, because as we are in Entrepreneurship Institute, we have a new identity, different center. We work together with the IBTL to help them to push this patent to the commercialization step.
Yeah.
Or do you outsource this? We want to know, do we have to outsource this? Or do you need to build an identity inside the institute?
So there's never one perfect approach, I'll tell you that. There's always a mix of solutions to any problem, and often it's driven by the technology itself, whatever is the subject matter of the patent. I do want to say that it's important for everyone to understand that despite the name of this session, we aren't really commercializing patents. The patent itself is simply a tool that allows us to commercialize an opportunity. We have to make the proper business case, and one of the errors that we make in technology transfer is we often think in the terms of the patent. We think of the claims of the patent, we think of the features of the technologies, the potential benefits of the technologies, but we don't think of the larger picture of how you take that tool and convert it into a business case, a proposition for achieving a commercialization endpoint. And to your question about whether we integrate with other entities in order to maximize that opportunity, ultimately the answer is absolutely yes. Some technologies will lend themselves to being commercialized within the university for a period of time. Others need assistance immediately out of the gate. You need to begin to engage that innovation ecosystem.
On this issue, this is the main issue that we face. Whoever who's the inventor who want to commercialize, okay, there is other product in the market, it's better than your product. So no need to commercialize it, and even if you commercialize it, you will face also. This is the main issue when we discuss with the inventor. We see lots of ideas, an excellent idea. However, if we want to commercialize it, it still is expensive compared to the market.
So as part of the challenge that you have then to assess yourself globally, that you're actually finding there are other patent portfolios and are stronger than what you have?
Sorry?
This is really a question for you now. So are you facing the inside of global competition that the IP that's being created?
Not only we are facing, everybody faces outside of the kingdom, you know. If you have, like, so for example, a patent, and we meet the inventor and we look to the idea. So we are working as the director of the Technology Advancement and Prototyping Center. I work with the Intellectual Properties Program, and I met the inventor. I saw the patent and discussed. The idea is excellent. However, when we move to the next stage, we want to do with a business model, the case study, and we find out from the market. As he said, there will be a lot of competitive, so you can move, unless if you reduce the price.
So I think that this gets into actually a mixture of what all of the speakers have said so far, which is patentability is really just the end product of a process of your research endeavors inside of the university. And what frequently happens where I see the gap, maybe that's more appropriate, is that there's not really commercial engagement in that process. And the technology transfer offices that I work with that I think are the most successful interface very heavily with companies, because companies are better at sensing the market and understanding customers than universities will be, because that's what we do. I mean, that is the purpose of a company, to live in the world. And so there are many different models, as Kristen said, that are successful. So the Mayo Clinic has entrepreneurs in residence that they keep full-time to commercialize particular pieces of their patent portfolio that has worked very well for them. And other universities work hard to create ecosystems. And I think in Portland, which ironically is where all three of us come from, we don't have a lot of capital. There's not a strong kind of government element to being able to support it. So the universities, the entrepreneurs, and existing businesses have come together to create an ecosystem, and we work very freely together, and have been able to come up with some very good commercial success because we communicate and are all aligned to the same goal. So from a business perspective, a patent is almost an afterthought. It's great if it's protected. My concern is the market. And if a patent will support my position in the market, then I will make a decision to license it in if it has commercial value. And if it doesn't, then I will not license it.
Okay. So from the previous discussions, we are talking about the patent and how we commercialize. But some of the, I don't want to say all of the investors here, some of them, they do like to invest in the IP that will take a long time process, going from the FDA, if it's going to the medical side, or so this will take a long time. They don't look to the long-term vision. They're always looking to how to generate their money as quickly as they can do. So we just want to spread these cultures of the angel investors and how they can invest. So we want to hear
immediately actionable route, maybe to find someone that's already doing it. Then there are unique technologies, and I think this is
For CACs, actually, looking for angel investors or venture capital, this is actually one of the paths. The other path, actually, that CACs takes is, as you know, CACs is a government organization, and it's not allowed for a government organization to work in the business side. For this reason, actually, CACs, through the Public Investment Fund, BIF, form a company called the Saudi Technology Development Company, Taqniyah, that will do the business and commercialization for CACs. Any actually technology comes from CACs, it will go directly to the Taqniyah as the first option. Taqniyah will do its business to analyze and see if this technology is fit with its strategy. If it is fit, it's okay, they will take it and start the commercialization and complete the development of the technology. If it is not yet, the CACs will try to find an angel investors or venture capitals to help them to take the technology to the market. I would like just to say one example, a real example from CACs about this issue, which it's been linking the industry with the research institute. Actually, at CACs a few years back, we start technology. Actually, they work at the labs, and a lot of researchers here in Saudi Arabia and outside. They start to develop technology for actually radiation for the cables that use electricity using the radiation. At the lab level, everything is okay and it's fine. When just we try to find an investor to this, to take the technology, to license it, we found that at the business level, the material that they should use to import and start working with it, it's more expensive than the company that are using. For this reason, actually, the project just stopped because, the cost. This is actually one of the reasons that I would like, before talking about, angel investors or venture capital, that we have focus inside the institute or the university about to understand the industry, to understand, the cost, to understand the business side of the invention. If you just stay keeping, the researchers working in the labs without knowing what's the business impact of their technology, this actually will not help for the future to commercialize this technology.
I want to just comment on this. How do you in CACS study the local market? This is very important. We want to know, do you do a survey about, or do you test the market by giving some products? Because here we find some difficulty if you want to test the market locally in the kingdom. So we try to meet people from the business school, we talk to them, and they usually do a survey. But we want to know, the audience know how in CACS you deal with this. Or do you do the market outside of the CACS, the study for the business?
Actually, for CACS, it's there is nothing systematic for this. Actually, it comes, for the personal information from the researchers. Researchers who knows one in the industry, they will start just talking with them and understand the market. But for a strategy, a clear strategy for CACS to study the market, still we are not having. But we are working with Taqniya company that it's the commercialized side arm for CACS that will help us for any survey. But at CACS level, we don't do any survey. We will work with this company, which is the arm, industrial arm for CACS and commercial arm that will help us for any study. We'll ask them to do the survey for our technology in the market.
So move to the Aaron. I don't know most of the audience if they are investor or not. I want you to give some example about the success case for the IP and how they move from the beginning to the product and how their influence in the economic.
That's a great question. But before I answer that, I want to just put out two concepts. So when you're looking at commercializing patents, especially from universities or research institutions or CACS, there are two concepts that you have to keep in mind. So whether you're going to license it or whether you're going to do a startup company, as Kristen said, the two concepts are what is the absorptive capacity of your ecosystem, which means what companies are out there that have the ability to license your patent and develop it into a product. And the second is, what is the desorptive capacity of your university or your research institution, which is, do you have the expertise to shed that technology, to transfer that technology, so that somebody like John can take it and develop it into a company. And each, for licensing and for startup companies, that desorptive capacity and absorptive capacity are slightly different. So you have to keep that in mind as you're going through this process. Angel investors are part of the absorptive capacity, for example, for startup ecosystem. Now, you asked for an example of
A success.
A success, and one of the things that I don't know whether you planned this, but you've been very lucky that you have 3 people from Portland, Oregon, who have worked together on several projects, and Eucurus actually is a great example of a success that came out of the university, Oregon Health and Science University. And we'll each tell part of the story here, and I'll tell about my part of the story, and then John and Kristen can add to that. My part of the story is that when I first met with the inventor of the technology, we started talking about what the technology was and what the potential need for that technology was. Okay, and he had a very good idea of what the problems were in the market, which is a really good place to start. And from my perspective, we at the university then invested time and effort into applying for the patent, knowing what the potential market was going to be, what the potential problems were going to be, and then the investment allowed us to analyze the situation and make a decision that this was going to be a startup company, not a license to an existing company. So we invested that time and effort into doing that analysis. It took about a year, and it didn't take a lot of money. It took about $15,000 to do that analysis. But that gave us an excellent idea of what the commercialization path